Alright, seniors. Let's have a real talk about something sitting right there in your pantry. You've heard it forever. Nuts are healthy. Grab a handful. And for many, that's absolutely true. But for seniors, certain popular nuts can be silently sabotaging your health right now. Think about that energy dip you can't shake, the blood pressure numbers creeping up, the moments of fuzziness you brush off, or even the quiet frustration in the bedroom. What if your daily handful is secretly fueling those problems? I see it too often in my practice. Men over 60 doing their best to eat well, reaching for nuts daily, believing it's a smart, heart-healthy choice. They're acting on good intentions. But the shocking reality is, some common nuts are actively working against your vitality, harming circulation, spiking inflammation, interfering with crucial medications, and yes, even clouding memory or straining your kidneys. You might be unintentionally causing damage bite by bite. I'm Dr. Catherine Rocker, a board-certified men's health specialist with over 20 years helping older adults improve their strength, stamina, memory, and bedroom confidence. I've worked with thousands of seniors across the country. And I can tell you this, food choices matter more than you think, especially the ones you trust the most. So, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 nuts you should never eat. Again, nuts that inflame your joints, dull your thinking, and drain your vitality. And then I'll show you the 3 nuts I personally recommend to my patients. The ones that boost your blood flow, protect your heart, support your brain, and balance your blood sugar without medication. And trust me, you'll want to watch this because one of the most dangerous nuts on this list, it's commonly marketed as a superfood, but it's been linked to liver stress, memory decline, and even early signs of cognitive dysfunction. So, hit that subscribe button if you care about real practical health advice made for you, not trendy fads. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If you think it doesn't apply to you, type 0. I want to know what you think. Now, let's break down the worst offenders first. Brazil nuts often show up in health mixes, premium nut packs, and even heart-healthy snack lists. They're praised for being rich in protein, healthy fats, antioxidants, and especially selenium, the nutrient that gives them their superfood status. But the very mineral that makes Brazil nuts special can quietly become toxic, particularly for seniors. Selenium is essential for immune health, thyroid function, and antioxidant protection. But unlike vitamins like C, where the body flushes out the excess, selenium has a narrow safety margin. Just 1 Brazil nut contains anywhere from 68 to 91 micrograms of selenium. That's more than your entire daily requirement of 55 micrograms. The safe upper limit is 400 micrograms. Eat just 5 Brazil nuts and you're already brushing against that ceiling. What makes it even riskier? There's no way to know how much selenium is in the nut you're holding. Levels can vary up to 8 times depending on where the nut was grown. So, while you think you're snacking smart, you could easily push your selenium intake into dangerous territory without realizing it. Excess selenium doesn't just cause mild discomfort. It can trigger serious problems. Studies link selenium toxicity to kidney damage with high doses, worsening kidney function and spiking creatinine and urea levels. If you already have kidney concerns, this risk skyrockets. The heart isn't safe either. While small amounts may support healthy blood pressure, too much selenium flips the script, increasing oxidative stress and potentially raising blood pressure, adding strain to an already vulnerable cardiovascular system. And then there's the brain. Seniors often hear that selenium supports cognition. True at the right dose, but when levels climb too high, it can cause mood swings, irritability, and cognitive decline. That's the danger zone few people discuss. It doesn't stop there. High selenium levels can interact with medications many seniors rely on, blood thinners, sedatives, even herbal supplements for blood clotting, either blocking their effect or amplifying side effects. And over time, instead of fighting inflammation, too much selenium creates it, doing the opposite of what you hoped for when you reached for that healthy snack. The goal isn't to scare you away from Brazil nuts forever. They do have benefits, but only in tiny amounts. Here's the safe rule. No more than 1 or 2 Brazil nuts in an entire week, not per day. That small limit keeps your selenium intake in the healthy range while avoiding toxicity. And if you take medication or have kidney, liver, or heart issues, talk to your doctor before, including Brazil nuts at all, need selenium without the gamble. There are far safer, more predictable sources like seafood, eggs, selenium-fortified cereals, or even a properly dosed multivitamin. These Options let you control your intake instead of guessing every time you grab a handful of nuts. Watch out for warning signs that your selenium levels may already be too high. Symptoms include hair thinning, brittle nails, digestive problems, or even nerve and brain changes. Many people mistake these issues for normal aging, but they could signal selenium overload. If you notice these changes, it's time for a checkup. Now, Brazil pose a serious risk because of selenium toxicity. But what about the next nut on our list? The one everyone calls a heart-healthy powerhouse. The truth is almonds come with their own hidden dangers. And if you're over 60, you need to hear this. Almonds can raise your blood pressure, disrupt your sleep, and even interfere with metabolism in ways most people never consider. Let's break it down. Almonds have earned a reputation as a superfood. They're celebrated for their protein, healthy fats, and vitamin E. You see them on every heart-healthy snack list, promoted as the perfect food for better cholesterol, sharper thinking, and even weight control. But those benefits don't always work the same way for older adults. Your body changes over time. Metabolism slows, medications pile up, and even small diet mistakes can hit harder. What younger adults tolerate easily can create real complications for seniors. Almonds fall into that category. Research paints a clearer picture. While almonds can lower LDL cholesterol and support weight management in some groups, the benefits in older adults are often modest and sometimes offset by medication interactions and other health issues. And another problem, calories. Almonds are calorie-dense, packing about 164 calories per ounce. It doesn't take much for those calories to add up, especially if you're less active or already managing your weight. What starts as a handful for a snack can quietly contribute to unwanted weight gain. And that extra weight often makes blood pressure, blood sugar, and joint issues worse. Then there's blood pressure control. Almonds are rich in magnesium, which sounds good until you factor in common blood pressure medications like calcium channel blockers or diuretics. This combination can trigger unpredictable shifts in blood pressure, sometimes dropping too low, other times spiking without warning. Then comes digestion. 1 ounce of almonds carries about 3.5 g of fiber. That might not sound like much, but for seniors with a slower digestive system, it can cause uncomfortable bloating, constipation, and even stomach distress. Add phytic acid into the mix, and you face another issue, mineral absorption. Almonds can reduce how much iron, zinc, and calcium your body absorbs, minerals that are already low in many older adults. Medication interactions add another layer of risk. Almonds are high in vitamin E, and if you take anticoagulants like worsen, this combination can increase your bleeding risk. Minerals in almonds can also interfere with how certain bone medications and antibiotics work, making your treatment less effective. Blood sugar is another overlooked danger. Almonds have a low glycemic index, but when combined with diabetes medications, they can cause unpredictable blood sugar swings. Sometimes mild spikes, other times dangerous drops. Almonds aren't evil, but they're not risk-free. The impact depends on portion size, timing, and your unique health profile. Margaret, 68, thought she was making a smart choice. Her doctor suggested pistachios for better heart health, so she added a small bowl to her daily routine. 6 months later, she felt drained, her stomach was in knots, her mood dipped, and sleep became a nightly struggle. She spent weeks searching for answers until I spotted the problem. The culprit wasn't her medication. It was the pistachios. Once she cut them out, her symptoms vanished. This isn't an isolated case. Pistachios have a glowing reputation in the wellness world. They're marketed as a superfood, praised for improving heart health, stabilizing blood sugar, and even supporting better sleep thanks to their melatonin content. On paper, that sounds fantastic. But the reality is that those claims ignore how different the senior body responds to these compounds. Take sleep for example. You'll often see pistachios promoted as a natural sleep aid because they contain melatonin, but studies on this are messy. Many are funded by the pistachio industry, and the results vary widely. Even more concerning, the actual melatonin level in pistachios is unpredictable. Some batches contain as little as 0.00340034 mg, while others reach up to 23 mg in just 3.50. That's a massive range, enough to make one person drowsy and another experience disrupted sleep or even medication conflicts. Pistachios have a low glycemic index, but that doesn't guarantee steady blood sugar for seniors. In fact, when combined with diabetes medications, pistachios can cause dangerous swings, dropping your blood sugar too low or pushing it too high. There's also the digestive problems. Just 1 ounce of pistachios packs about 3 g of fiber and a heavy dose of FODMAPs. For anyone with slow digestion or a sensitive gut, that can mean bloating, constipation, and lingering discomfort after what was supposed to be a healthy snack. Pistachios contain a surprising amount of potassium, around 289 milligrams per ounce. That may sound like a benefit, but if you take medication for your heart, blood pressure, or fluid retention, those extra milligs can interfere, leading to dangerous electrolyte imbalances. They're also high in vitamin B6. And while your body needs some, too much can actually damage your nerves over time. Seniors with existing neurological conditions are especially vulnerable to this effect. For many seniors, pistachios carry more risk than reward. Their nutrient profile is unpredictable. And when combined with aging physiology and multiple medications, the result can be more harm than good. If you want melatonin, opt for a controlled supplement instead of guessing with a snack. For potassium and fiber, bananas, potatoes, vegetables, and whole grains are safer, easier to track, and far more consistent. Pistachios aren't the enemy, but they are unpredictable. And when your health depends on stability, unpredictability is the last thing you need. Now that you know which nuts could be silently sabotaging your health, it's time for some good news. In this next part, I'll reveal the 3 best nuts seniors should be eating regularly and explain exactly why they can make such a positive difference in your overall well-being. Peanuts rarely make the superfood list, yet they quietly deliver benefits many older adults desperately need. Peanuts aren't even true nuts. They're legumes. But when it comes to supporting heart health, blood flow, and brain function, they can outperform many popular tree nuts. Peanuts provide a unique combination of nutrients that can make a real difference. Improved circulation, better blood sugar control, enhanced cognitive performance, and even support for deeper, more restful sleep. Let me share Margaret's story. Margaret, a 68-year-old from Ohio, felt like life was slipping away. She battled low energy every day. Her hands and feet were constantly cold, and the brain fog made even simple tasks exhausting. She worried about losing her independence and started trying everything: supplements, medications, even pricey consultations that promised quick fixes. Nothing worked. Then came the turning point. During a routine checkup, I connected the dots. Poor circulation, insulin resistance, and mental fatigue were all part of the same problem. The solution? Something Margaret never expected: adding just 1.5 ounces of unsalted peanuts to her daily routine. That's about 30 peanuts. The results were life-changing. Within weeks, her hands and feet felt warmer, her thinking sharpened, and the heavy fatigue started to lift. She regained her energy, her confidence, and most importantly, her quality of life, all without another expensive pill or treatment. One of the biggest reasons peanuts can make such a difference for seniors comes down to a single compound, l'arginine. This amino acid acts like a natural key for better blood flow. L'arginine helps your body produce nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and widens your blood vessels. This simple process supports smoother circulation, steadier blood pressure, and better oxygen delivery to your brain and muscles. Your body naturally produces less nitric oxide with age. That's why foods rich in l'arginine can feel like a lifeline. Just 85 g of peanuts, about 3 ounces, provides 2.74 g of l'arginine. That's an impressive boost for anyone looking to maintain strong vascular health and consistent energy throughout the day. Now, before you reach for a big bowl of peanuts, there are a few smart rules to follow. First, stick to 1 to 1.5 ounces per day. That's about a small handful or roughly 30 peanuts. Too much can lead to unnecessary calories. Second, if you have a peanut allergy, this food is off limits. Always talk to your doctor first, especially if you take blood pressure medications, because peanuts can enhance their effects. Storage matters, too. Peanuts can develop aflatoxin mold if kept in warm, humid conditions. Store them in a cool, dry place and check for freshness. And one more tip: choose unsalted dry roasted peanuts. This keeps sodium in check and avoids unnecessary oils that can reduce the health benefits. Health doesn't always require another prescription or another expensive supplement. Sometimes the answer is as simple as adding the right foods in the right amounts. Peanuts are An affordable natural way to improve circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and boost brain health, all without overwhelming your body. While peanuts stand out for circulation and energy, the next nut on our list offers something different, a surprising advantage for brain function and sleep quality. Cashews rarely make the headlines when it comes to healthy eating, but that needs to change. Most people see them as nothing more than a snack, something to nibble on during a movie or sprinkle on a salad. The truth is, cashews pack a level of nutrition that feels almost therapeutic for aging bodies. They're affordable, widely available, and loaded with compounds that target three major concerns for people over 60: circulation, brain function, and metabolic health. Cashews have an image problem. Many believe they're an indulgence high in fat and best avoided for heart health. But research tells a different story. Regular cashew intake has been linked to lower insulin levels, better cholesterol balance, and improved blood flow to the brain. All critical factors for staying sharp and active later in life. Cashews aren't just a snack. They're a functional food with benefits that rival some of the most talked about supplements. Let's break it down further. First, circulation. Just 1 ounce of cashews delivers 83 milligrams of magnesium. That's a nutrient your body desperately needs to relax blood vessels and improve blood flow, especially in your hands, feet, and sexual organs. Better circulation means more oxygen to your brain and muscles. And for men, it can mean better performance and stamina, where it counts. Second, brain support. Cashews are loaded with copper, healthy fats, and zinc, nutrients linked to improved verbal memory and executive function. For seniors who want to stay sharp and independent, these compounds provide critical support for healthy brain aging. Third, blood sugar control. With a low glycemic index and compounds that enhance glucose metabolism, cashews help regulate insulin response, making them a smart choice for anyone managing or trying to prevent type 2 diabetes. And finally, better sleep. Cashews are rich in tryptophan, the amino acid your body uses to produce melatonin and magnesium, which promotes muscle relaxation. Together, these nutrients help support deeper, more restorative sleep so you wake up refreshed. So, how do you actually use cashews to get the best results without overdoing it? Start with about 15 to 18 cashews a day. That's roughly 1 ounce. You don't need more than that, especially if you're focused on managing your weight or blood sugar. The best time to eat cashews, afternoon or evening. The natural tryptophan in cashews helps your body create melatonin, your sleep hormone, combined with magnesium. This creates the perfect environment for deeper, more restful sleep. If your evenings are usually restless or your mind races at bedtime, cashews might be the missing piece. Always choose raw or lightly roasted cashews. Skip the overly salted or sugar-coated varieties. The added sodium and oils can work against the very benefits you're trying to gain. And of course, start slow if you haven't had cashews before. They're tree nuts, so if you have a history of nut allergies, this may not be the best fit, but for most people, cashews are well tolerated and easy to digest, especially when eaten with meals. Also, keep in mind cashews are nutrient-dense, but calorie-dense, too. That's why portion control is key. You want your food working for you, not against you. Now, let's step back for a moment. Cashews are a perfect example of how small, consistent habits can create real change. You don't need to flip your entire diet upside down or follow complicated nutrition plans. Just adding this one food intentionally daily can support clearer thinking, steadier energy, and deeper rest. Next, we're going to talk about a nut that's even more brain-focused. If cashews support your sleep, circulation, and sugar control, then pecans help protect what matters most, your long-term memory. Pecans may look simple, but they carry one of the most powerful tools to help protect your memory and mental clarity. Among all tree nuts, pecans top the chart in antioxidants. What makes them so powerful? Their high levels of polyphenol. These plant-based compounds fight two major enemies that silently chip away at your brain: inflammation and oxidative stress. If you've been struggling with forgetfulness or mental fatigue, this is the kind of food you need to start taking seriously. Oxidative stress damages brain cells. Inflammation slows down your brain's communication network. Pecans actively work against both. They don't just help with memory, they support the entire vascular system inside your brain. Pecans improve what's called microvascular reactivity. In simple terms, they help blood flow more freely through the tiniest vessels, delivering oxygen and nutrients exactly where they're needed most. This improved Circulation plays a key role in helping your mind stay alert and focused throughout the day. You might not feel the shift overnight, but over time the difference is noticeable. Let me tell you about Frank. He's a 72-year-old from Georgia who began having trouble remembering everyday things, names, dates, where he left the keys. It started to frustrate him and it worried his wife and adult kids. Rather than jump straight into medication, Frank made one small change. He started eating a handful of pecans each morning with his coffee. That quiet little shift turned into a turning point. Over the next few weeks, his energy picked up. He found himself finishing sentences without stalling. He didn't feel like his mind was in a fog anymore. Pecans carry the highest polyphenol content of all tree nuts. That means they provide your brain with a direct line of defense against oxidative stress, one of the most destructive forces behind cognitive decline. Oxidative stress eats away at your neurons, slowing down the way your brain processes information and weakening your memory. When you eat pecans consistently, you help open up the tiniest blood vessels in your brain. It's called microvascular reactivity. This improved blood flow helps deliver more oxygen and nutrients right to the parts of your brain that handle focus, learning, and short-term memory. Think of it as giving your brain cleaner fuel every single day. Pecans also calm down neuroinflammation, which plays a major role in diseases like Alzheimer's and common memory lapses. Their rich supply of monounsaturated fats and antioxidants works in the background quietly but powerfully. A clinical trial published in Nutritional Neuroscience tested pecans in real-world conditions. Participants were given a pecan-enriched shake and their cognitive performance was measured against a control group. The results noticeable improvement in 8 out of 23 cognitive tests. Real progress in memory, learning, and how fast the brain could process information. Now, let's talk about how to make pecans work for your routine. You don't need a mountain of them. Just 15 to 20 pecan halves, about 1 to 1.50 per day, is the sweet spot. Enough to feed your brain without overloading your calories. Keep them in an airtight container in your fridge. That extends their shelf life to about 6 months. 4. Even longer storage, you can freeze them, and yes, that helps preserve their antioxidant strength. Raw pecans are the most beneficial. Lightly toasting is fine if you prefer a little crunch, but skip the sugar coating and heavy processing. Those strip away the parts your brain needs most. And if you have dental concerns, don't worry. You can chop them finely or mix them into oatmeal, smoothies, or yogurt. You still get the brain-boosting benefits, just in a way that's easier to chew and digest. Pecans offer you a chance to take your brain health seriously without pills, without confusion, just a natural food that works with your body. You have the power to slow down the decline one handful at a time. We've covered some crucial ground today about nuts and your vitality. To make it crystal clear, here's your simple action plan based on what your body truly needs. Now, the 3 nuts to seriously limit or avoid: Brazil nuts, almonds, and pistachios. These aren't villains for everyone, but after 60, the metabolic shifts mean they often cause more trouble than good, impacting digestion, inflammation, and even blood pressure or kidney strain. The 3 powerhouse nuts to embrace daily: peanuts, cashews, and pecans. These are your allies. Packed with the specific nutrients seniors need most, they actively support sharper thinking, stronger energy, better heart health, and restful sleep. Now, let's address something I know many of you feel, but don't say out loud. You are not broken. Feeling those changes, the dips in energy, the moments of fog, the frustrations doesn't mean you're too old or past the point of improvement. Absolutely not. I see it every single day in my practice. Your body is still listening. It's still ready to respond. Sometimes in surprisingly powerful ways when you give it the right signals. Age brings shifts, yes, but it doesn't shut down your capacity for vitality. Take Bill, 68. He loved Brazil nuts. Swap them out for a daily handful of peanuts. Within weeks, his stubbornly high blood pressure started trending down consistently. Or Martha, 72, who added just a small serving of pecans to her morning routine. The boost in her afternoon energy was real and noticeable, not fleeting. Then there's Frank and Linda, both 75, who started having a few cashews in the evening. Their sleep quality improved significantly, deeper, more restful nights. This is biology responding to smarter nutrition choices. Your body wants to work with you. So, what's your first step? Don't try to overhaul everything overnight. That rarely sticks. Instead, pick one simple swap. Tomorrow, when you reach for a snack or walk down the grocery aisle, pause. Remember this conversation. Choose to put back the almonds and grab the peanuts instead. Skip the pistachios and pick up the pecans. Start with that single powerful decision. It signals to your body you're ready to support it better. What's really at stake here? It's more than just numbers on a chart. It's feeling steadier on your feet. It's recalling names and details without that frustrating mental scramble. It's having the energy to enjoy a walk, share a laugh, hold a hand longer, or simply feel present and engaged in your own life mentally, emotionally, intimately. That's the real power of fueling yourself wisely. You are not too old to feel strong again. You are not too far down any path that you can't start making positive changes today. Your body is remarkably resilient. It will meet you halfway if you consistently give it the right tools. Start with these nuts. Let choosing peanuts, cashews, pecans, or walnuts be that first clear signal to your body and to yourself that you are committed to thriving right now,